What do Tom Cruise, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Brad Pitt have in common? They're all old enough to be the father of Leo's girlfriend. They're also all the last of a dying breed. Let me explain. The people are asking what happened to the movie star, and I am here to get to the bottom of it. This past weekend, stunt master extraordinaire Tom Cruise released the latest and possibly final in his tentpole franchise, Mission Impossible. We've all seen at least one or two of these movies. Mission Impossible is America's answer to James Bond. Like Bond, Cruise is a part of a shady undercover operation with sparse amounts of information available and agency heads who mysteriously vanish without a trace. Ethan Hunt also does these things in the film as well. Aside from Cruise, Jesus Christ and Gandhi are the only other men in history who can say they were the faces of a religion while also being the face of a 1980s blockbuster. That's pretty incredible company, if you ask me. Okay, enough. No more bad jokes. No more Scientology talk. This is about cinema. Okay, one final thing. I've seen Scientology videos. I've seen cult videos. I know that there is now a non-zero chance that I mysteriously disappear after this video is posted. I digress. So why has the movie star gone away? I would argue there are three big reasons as to why this is the case: selectivity, exclusivity, individuality. I get that the last one doesn't really make a whole lot of sense yet, but I needed to find another word that ended in ITY to kind of complete that trilogy of words there. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, it'll make sense when I talk about it. Let's start with exclusivity, what I think is the most prominent reason the movie star has gone away. Oversaturation. Everyone is so accessible now, social media being the main proponent of that, of course. You have access in the lives of celebrities like never before. You can see what they wore to the resident gala. You can see what they ate for breakfast this morning. You can even get tours of the insides of their homes. Cruise doesn't tweet hot takes, overshare on podcasts, or meme himself into virality. Like the stars of old, he preserves a level of distance and myth. His calculated public presence enhances his staying power in a culture addicted to overexposure. While Cruise remains a prominent figure associated with Scientology, he has maintained a low profile regarding his involvement with the church in recent years. In today's 24/7 ever churning media cycle, scandalous or controversial information like this goes to the wayside quickly. This is all to say, we know too much, and when you know too much, the mystique disappears. This is also the reason why most of my girlfriends have left me. Think back to the golden age of Hollywood. Figures like Humphrey Bogart, James Stewart, Ingrid Bergman, Audrey Hepburn, Marlon Brando. These figures were closer to gods and goddesses than actual human beings, because, quite honestly, they were groomed to be this way. Studios manufacture these stars by methodically curating their public images, on screen roles, and off screen lives. I literally got goosebumps the first time I watched Apocalypse Now and Marlon Brando appeared on screen in the last act. It was literally like I was watching a god. That is the mystique that Brando has built up over the years and the decades since his career and since he's passed away. Movies were the marquee form of entertainment. America's pop culture was less fragmented. Most people consumed the same films and stars, creating a stronger shared mythology around actors. There were no other options. There were no streaming services or 97-inch plasma screen TVs, no influencers, YouTube, no TikTok, no OnlyFans, none of it. It was athletes, it was musicians, and it was movie stars. And honestly, the only way to go see them in person or on the big screen was to buy a physical ticket to go there. Nowadays, you have random teenagers on TikTok dancing away to millions and millions of viewers. Teenagers who are more recognizable to the young population than any movie star is. Anyone can be a star in this climate. And to quote the late great Syndrome, if everyone is super, no one is. Cruise and others like Pitt and Dicaprio are the biggest stars from an era that was arguably the last that produced this magnitude of movie star. It wasn't about the franchise or the director. It didn't matter if the movie was about pumpkins who came to life and terrorized children on Halloween, which would actually be kind of sick. But if stars were in movies, stars like a Bing Crosby or a John Wayne, people were going to watch it. Which leads me to my next point: individuality or star power. Cruise and DiCaprio, and honestly, I don't even know if Pitt fits in this category anymore, are some of the last stars where their movie releases feel like an event in themselves. Figures who will put butts in seats regardless of what the movie is about. Icons where when they show up on screen, it literally feels like a big deal. Unfortunately, going to the movies is not the cultural event that it used to be back in the mid 1900s. In the current Hollywood landscape, oftentimes the franchise or character is the star. You weren't going to the theaters to see Robert Downey Jr., you were going to see Iron Man. You weren't going to the theater because of a wand waving Daniel Radcliffe. No, you were going to see Harry Potter. And while these actors are all huge global icons in their own rights, they are replaceable in the grand scheme of their characters. Only 15 years later, and Harry Potter is already getting a reboot. Deathly Hallows Part 2 is hardly a teenager at this point, probably going through its hormonal phase of the teenage years, a time that's rough for all of us, and it's already being replaced. And I know this is the 90s baby in me talking, but good luck replacing that cast. Alan Rickman is Severus Snape. I don't care if he was younger in the books. I do not care. Sue me. There is no denying the star power of Tom Cruise. Everyone knows who he is. My mom, your grandma, her grandma. If I asked my grandma who Timothy Chalamet is, she'd probably ask if that is a type of pasta dish. And fun fact, Tom Cruise is the 7th highest grossing actor or actress of all time. Everyone else in the top 10 was in the MCU. He is the only one in the top 10 that was never in any MCU movies. Tom Cruise is the Mission Impossible franchise. Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt. This franchise was dead in the water after the 3rd movie until Cruise literally put it on his back and willed it back to prominence. There are a lot of darts you can toss at Tom Cruise, but you absolutely cannot say that he hasn't put his heart and soul into keeping movie theaters and Hollywood in general churning. In his soul, he is deeply passionate about cinema and creating the best possible theater experience. And that leads me to my last point, which kind of goes hand in hand with my first point: selectivity. These stars just don't appear in that many movies anymore. Since 2017, Cruise has only been in 6. 3 of those have been entries in the Mission Impossible franchise. One was a small indie sequel known as Top Gun Maverick. The other was The Mummy. We don't talk about The Mummy. Like my first point of exclusivity, these stars are not oversaturated. They're not in your face at every turn or the face of some random tequila brand or mobile phone network, and they don't make AI generated Netflix content. Limited exposure leaves people wanting more. Tom Cruise's icon status isn't just a product of charisma or talent, it's the result of decades of shrewd, controlled, and consistent career choices. In a fragmented, oversaturated media landscape, his selectivity has helped him remain not just relevant, but singular. In an era where franchises run the show and IP is queen, Tom Cruise is one of the last true movie stars. An actor whose name alone still draws global audiences to the theater. He's not just surviving in a shifting cinematic landscape, he's defying it. While today's Hollywood spreads stardom across streaming platforms, social media, and shared universes, Cruise clings to a disappearing ideal: the actor as spectacle, as myth, as event. But even his gravity can't hold the old system together forever. The age of the singular star, the godlike figure from the golden age or from the 90s blockbuster era, is fading. Cruise may be our final link to that legacy, a living monument to a time where risk and charisma and sheer will could launch a career into orbit. And when he finally decides to exit the stage for good, it may mark the end of more than just a career. It may mark the end of the movie star as we know it.